dude, there's communists falling out of the sky, get ready. Not really. Not really. Actually, this is 5 guns for life and liberty. I mean, life and liberty. So what happens? I mean, is it a communist invasion? Is it a whatever? Okay, does it have to have a reason?
No.
It's just 5 guns for life and liberty.
Well, we
you
do
know, it
live,
could be a bad guy trying to kill you or whatever.
Well, we do live in the land of the free, so you know, life and liberty is one of those things that we want to protect. So,
yes.
What guns would you use to defend your life and liberty with? Well, we've been thinking about it for quite some time, and we came up with a pretty good selection. I think it pretty much encompasses everything that you would want to do to take care of anything that might threaten your life and liberty.
Right, so, exactly. You know, we all have a right to life and liberty, a right to protect it. You know, it's one of those things. We're looking at it from a standpoint of, you know, a fight's coming. We're not talking about, okay, well, if you had to use it, what could you use? We're talking, you know, they're coming. There's parachutes in the distance, and there's, you know, Red Dawn scenario, and they're coming. All right, you got to grab something and go. What would you use? Well, you know, starting kind of on the bottom of the list and going up here, Glock 19. All right, you can't go wrong with a good, solid, you know, pistol. If you're going to have a sidearm, all right, which, you know, many people, I guess, if I was going into a fight, I'd want to have a backup sidearm.
Yeah.
All right, so you got your Glock 19. This one's got Trigicon HD sights with the yellow front, Nibix slide. This is a real nice 19. And of course, don't forget your 33-round magazines. If you need to run into a fight, you got some extra firepower.
It really is the charm of Glock pistols. You know, everybody can talk what they want to about Glocks, but when it comes down to it, every model that's small can use every magazine that's bigger.
Yeah,
you know? And
simple.
they make some of the most reliable, high-capacity magazines for handguns on the market.
Well, you know, I hate to be on the Glock bandwagon because I know there's some people, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love M&Ps. You know, I've got several M&P pistols and I love them to death. But, you know, I think when it just comes down to the world's going to shit, I think I'd really want to have a Glock.
Or
you know
a few of them. I mean, we all have a few of them laying around the house.
Yeah, exactly. Pardon my French, but, you know, moving on, okay, you need a boomstick. I think I'd be running out the door with my Benelli M4. This is a beautiful shotgun, not only in terms of the way it looked, but she's also very deadly. This is a law enforcement model, collapsible stock, magazine tube. It holds 8 shots, semi-auto, very reliable system of operation. Great shotgun right here.
Well, the thing with the Benellis is this shotgun is used by the Marines, you know, and if it's good enough for the Marines, I think it's good enough for just about anybody else.
Good enough for me.
But
exactly.
these are top-end shotguns. I mean, these things are very, very high-end. I mean, you're talking $2,000 for a shotgun like this. But can you get the job done with like a Mossberg 500? Can you get the job done with a Remington A70?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure you can. But this is the ultimate combat shotgun, and we're talking about life and liberty, so you want the ultimate in combat reliability.
Absolutely.
And, you know, gas-operated Argo system this thing runs is just sweet.
Benelli M4, Benelli M3, you know, you can't go wrong with a nice Benelli.
Yeah.
Get you a 590A1 with like good marine finish, with a nickel finish. It seems to me that, you know, if you know you're going into a fight, you're going into a questionable environment, why not make sure you got a gun that's going to have very good prevention of rust, corrosion resistance, ease of maintenance, and a Nibix finish or nickel finish. Anything with that slick nickel is really going to, you know, wipe off really easily in a dusty or dirty, nasty environment. So speaking of which, we're moving up the ladder here. So what if you got your pistol, you got your shotgun. Okay, what about rifles? Well, we'll move on to rifles. We got here an awesome Ddi Ak-47. And this thing is just great. It's got nice, comfortable Hogue furniture. Comes with 2 30-round P-mags. This particular one's got a nice Vortex spark optic. The process they use to treat the metal on these DDIs, they're very, very corrosion resistant. They lubricate really well. They hold oil well. If you get them hot and you burn them up, you just spray them back down. And
also, these rifles, the way that they actually, the metal is not really coated. It's more of a treatment, like Eric mentioned. But if I'm not mistaken, all the metal parts on these guns, they're treated up to like 60 Rockwell.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, they're extremely, extremely durable. You know, in the surface finish. But what I like so much about these DDIs is the way they're put together. The company basically decided that all the AKs on the market, well, not all of them, but some of the AKs on the market were subpar, in quality, coming off of the lines and going to shelves at the storefronts that you're going to buy it from. And they decided to make a better AK, and they did. And these are very, very reasonably priced AK-47 variants.
Yeah, we'll be doing a full review on this particular gun. This is actually my personal DDI I picked up. I really like it a lot. We'll be doing some more work with it. But an AK, awesome. I love AKs. I'm more of an AK guy. Chad.
Well, we're talking about life and liberty, and I'm not of the opinion that you're going to find a lot of 7.62x39 laying around or whatever, magazines laying all over the place. Everybody owns ARs,
Granted.
and they are used by military and police all across the country, all across the world. I mean, and this is kind of my choice for a life and liberty gun, just a regular old AR-15 that's been slightly modified. We've got some Geisley furniture on this, Geisley two-stage trigger for more accurate shooting at longer range. Got a little BCM gunfighter charging handle. Makes it a little bit easier to charge the rifle from either the left or the right side. We're running just P-mags. I mean, P-mags, P-mags, P-mags.
M-Bus Pros.
M-Bus Pros, yeah. Some high-end M-Bus Pro backup sights, aim point, Comp M3. This is from Optics Planet. I've got a momentary on light on this gun. I don't have a constant on light on my fighting guns. This is a momentary on and off, so you can scan an area, whatever the case may be. So this is from Enforce. These are pretty cool. So we've got momentary on and off. So nothing really giving your position away. Plus we have a SDN6 from AAC on the front. Now this is a 5.56 firearm, but I'm running a 30 caliber can because it's very versatile on multiple platforms. I can run this on 308s, 300 blackouts, 223s, pretty much anything that'll fit down the bore, and I can adapt it to the rifle. I can use it. But this is set up just to run. I don't have an adjustable gas system or anything on this type of rifle. I'm running a Geisley super gas block, and it's got the bomb-proof installation where the spring pin is actually drilled through and pinned in place, so the block is not going to move off this barrel under any circumstance.
And
really.
we've tested it under some very crazy circumstances.
Yeah, we ran the AR-15 meltdown with a Faxon barrel and the Geisley super gas block, and didn't go anywhere.
Good.
It does.
Well, one interesting thing about this rifle that I want to mention is, there's a lot of folks out there that'll take a rifle and they'll deck it out with all kind of crazy stuff, but this rifle right here is strictly business. This is a business gun, and I mean it. This rifle here has all the upgrades you need and none of the upgrades you don't.
Pretty much. I mean,
nice and simple.
I didn't want anything to fall off of my rifle. I just run standard pins for the most part. I do have a K and S pin system on here just to keep the trigger group in place for the most part, but I've never really had any issues just running straight pins.
Yep.
But everything on that rifle is pretty much solid. You just go balls to the wall. No problems there.
Well, the cool thing too, one more thing I'll mention before we move on, is that the modularity of the AR lends itself well to that. You can set up a rifle for specific use, whether it's hunting, self-defense, life and liberty. In this case, life and liberty, that's a life and liberty gun. So what if somebody wants to punch out longer range?
Well, longer range, you might think a high-quality like 308 bolt gun. I mean, we're getting up in the 30 caliber, which is kind of what you would want for longer range shooting. But I personally like a automatic. So got a pretty nice Springfield M1a here. This is a loaded model that I purchased several years back and been making some slow upgrades to, but this is kind of a longer range, like DMR type rifle, if you will. But Ray's done a little bit of work on this as well. We've unitized the gas system, bedded the rifle, running a very low profile arms number 18 mount on here. We've got a nice Vortex optic, again from Optics Planet. Just running a, I think this is a US Palm cheek riser, but you got to have a cheek riser with an M1A, but this rifle with Federal 175 grain Match Kings, sub-minute groups, pretty much all day long.
She shoots, man.
So that's all I need. I need a rifle to shoot about an inch at 100 yards and punch on out there, to maybe 800, 900, 1,000 yards if need be. But yeah,
nice thing about that gun is it'll shoot inch or less groups all day long. It's not like one of those deals where you're shooting and then, okay, the gun's heating up, it's stringing, it's doing weird things. I like the M1A because you get that nice reliability there. It's a very good weapon system. It is a little bit on the heavy side, so make sure you're stretching chicken wings and getting your arms worked up.
You mentioned your Scar and whatnot. The Scar's a great rifle, but I kind of like heavy metal, a little bit.
I was torn between this and the Scar for this video. The Scar and the M1a are both expensive guns. I mean, they're going to cost money. But I guess from my point of view, I mean, cost is one thing. I mean, what if you're one of those guys who's only going to own 2 or 3 guns? Well, if that's the case, save up your money and buy the best thing you can afford to defend your life with. What's your life worth to you? I mean, from my perspective, you know, if I'm running out the door with a shotgun, I'm grabbing the M4. I'm going to grab the nicest shotgun I own. I mean, why not? If it comes down to, if I'm going to die in 5 minutes, I'm at least going to have a nice shotgun up on my corpse. You know, I mean, just saying.
Well, you know, the M1a that I have here, I mean, I probably have $2,000 invested in it, but I mean, you know, you can get on up to like the White Feathers and such, where you're spending $4,000 or $5,000 for a semi-automatic M1a that'll, you know, shoot a 1/2-inch group. I mean, does it last? Is it worth it? Probably not. I mean, you know, 1 inch is good enough for me. I don't need a bolt gun to shoot a 1/2 inch to do business. I mean,
one of the biggest charms about this rifle, and what I like so much about this setup, is the fact that, say you got a buddy with a fancy surgeon bolt action, all right? He's making very precise shots. He's shooting, you know, very, very precise sub-minute groups when he's, you know, on the range. But let's say it's a combat situation, it's a life and liberty situation. This is a rifle that not only can you use to engage targets, you can spot for another shooter. So you're witnessing what's going on, you're calling the shots, and say you seek out a moment of opportunity, you see that he missed, you have a fast follow-up shot, not only from his shot, but for your shot. So the light recoil impulse of the M1a, you can just about spot for yourself, especially when you're talking 500, 600, 700 yards. You can pretty much call your own shots, especially if you're shooting from the prone.
Well,
that's an advantage.
Speaking about optics too, you know, on a kind of intermediate to like moderate range rifle, I like to run like something that's no more than about 10 power optic.
Yeah.
You know, on carbines such as that, where you're talking engaging targets anywhere between, you know, 100, 200 yards, maybe out to 600 yards tops, a good high quality 1 to 4 optic like the Vortex PSTs or the Razors that we've used in the past with extremely good results are wonderful. But, you know, a little red dot like this Comp M3 or like the Vortex Spark, you know, we can shoot 300-400 yards with those all day long and engage targets that you would most likely encounter in a life and liberty type situation.
Well, you can also take this aim point here and run your magnifier if you want.
So
make a flip out magnifier that gives you 3 power, and I think they also make a 5 power if I'm not mistaken. So this is 5 guns to think about, guys. I mean, these are guns we own. These are personal guns. These are our choices. These are what we would use as a good quality, you know, firearms you see here. It is a sobering thing to think about, you know, defending yourself, life and liberty. I mean, it can almost be compared to the guys that carry knives on a regular basis. I mean, okay, chances are you're probably just going to cut a box open, all right? You're probably just going to use whatever knife you're carrying to slice open a box or cut something, you know, that you're working on every day. Are you going to have to draw your knife and stab a bad guy who's trying to kill you? Probably not, okay? But it's okay to think, well, if I need to use a firearm to defend myself, I dang sure going to want to make sure it's something I can rely on and trust my wife to. So we always have to have a wild card in these 5 guns videos. That's our 5 there. But I think if you really want to punch out and you really want to get the point across, a long ways away.
A long ways away.
That Barrett M107 is tough to beat. Now, I didn't lug it up here to the shop. I actually own that particular gun now. It was hanging here for the longest time. I bought that 107. Well, I'm kind of still paying for it. I'll probably be paying for it for quite some time. But that particular gun, it's just crazy. If you really want to punch out and get your point across, you can't go wrong with a 50 if you're willing to lug it around.
Well, anti-material, anti-personnel. I mean, it's
anti-anything.
It's the choice of the military, you know. So again, it's good enough for, well, the Marines, military, anywhere. It's good enough for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
and that's the beauty of the Second Amendment, guys. I know this video is meant to be kind of lighthearted, but remember, your rights are there for a reason. It's to protect you, for you to be able to defend yourself, your family, your friends, the people around you. We are ultimately responsible for each other. And in our everyday lives, you have to always embrace the fact that you might be looked to as that person that's going to have to be the responsible one. You might not know. If you're in a room full of people and you're carrying, let's just say open, and you have a gun and maybe no one else does, if something bad happens, I promise you, you're automatically going to be looked to as the person who's going to be expected to do something.
You're going to be looked to as the savior of the situation, even though beforehand you may have been looked upon with scorning eyes.
Right,
you know?
and the thing is I think that most people kind of embrace the fact that most of us, I believe, truly want what's best for the common greater good around us. I mean, I think we all want to do the best we can to help those around us. And you know, I know there's going to be probably anti-gun people watching this video. They're going to go, oh, well, y'all just full of crap. You hillbillies and your dang semi-automatics, and oh, you all these 30-round death sticks and all this mess. But the thing you have to remember, the gun culture in the U.S. is a very unique culture, and I think that people that grew up around guns and folks like me, that I was raised around firearms, I mean, the firearm owning American populace is some of the most, you know, awesome people you'll ever meet. We all care greatly about each other, about our family, about our friends. You'll never find a gun person around that's not a decent person.
Well,
I mean, very rarely will you find true gun people that aren't good people.
Well, not only that, but you know, gun culture and gun people being good people overall is that we will do just about anything is necessary to protect, you know, ourselves, our families, our lives, our rights, and our way of life in general. You know, I mean, our gun culture, you know, gun people, our way of life is truly, you know, the old school, like, American way of life.
And it means a lot to us. I think true gun owners really embrace that, and you can take that check to the bank.
You certainly can. I mean, that's the thing, you know, the Second Amendment is not there to preserve the rights of sportsmen or hunting or anything like that. It's to preserve the rights of everyone in this country.
Right.
You know, and to do that, you know, I mean, maybe one day people will have to take up arms, maybe against an enemy force, foreign, you know, or it could be a tyrannical government.
Or it could be anything. That's the thing. It can be whatever it is. I mean, if someone's trying to deprive you of liberty, they're trying to kill you, they're trying to hurt your family, well, guess what? They just check that mark in the box, and that's it. Hit the switch, that's it. You know, when that check in the box, right there, okay? So guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. I know this is kind of fun. You know, we like to enjoy these videos and, you know, come up with these crazy 5 guns ideas for you, but there's Life and Liberty Guns. We got many more 5 Guns videos on the way. We greatly, greatly appreciate the support. A lot of you guys have been supporting Man-Cans. It means a lot to us. We really appreciate it. All the phone calls. We had some great YouTubers stop by today that were passing through on vacation and, you know, just in their travels. All you guys always have a ton of nice words, and we really, really appreciate the support from the walk-in people that are passing through. It means a lot to us. But not to drag the video out, but thanks again, and guys, more on the way.
Thanks, guys.